Me and your mum got some pretty exciting news.
Yeah.
Some really exciting news. We had a meeting with Toyota USA. And Toyota USA have invited you two punks to bring the FJ49 to SEMA.
That's cool.
This year.
Sick.
On top of that, they also want the 6x6 there.
Yeah.
And they want the black truck there. So in 5 weeks' time, we're putting all 3 of these trucks into a container. And we're sending them over to the United States for 12 months. Right, y'all, it's D-Day. So it's Monday morning now. We've got word that the containers have been delayed a little bit. They're not going to be arriving until this afternoon, which is great for me because I'm now getting the Mega 6 loaded up. You've seen the black truck all done. Now I'm going to give you a walk through the Mega 6, which is probably, this has been the biggest changes that we've made, but we've been making all these changes prior to us getting the phone call for SEMA. So there's a lot that's changed on the Mega 6, which you guys aren't aware about, and I'm going to run you through it today. So let's talk about the aesthetics first. I've changed it up because we're going back to the US and the Australian laws don't really apply here. I've gone back to a 37-inch tyre, which was what this truck was originally designed for, but we couldn't get it through compliance. That's a whole nother story. I'm also going to run on the KM3s, yeah? I'm going to stick to kind of what I know. So I'm on KM3s. Ashton is now on all terrains, and then the black truck is obviously running on the Goodyears. So we'll get a good mix of what we're doing there. I just wanted to change the look up of the Mega 6 for the SEMA show, so we're not rolling up there with the car that everybody knows. So I've gone with a 17 by 9 inch. I think we ended up with a POS 20 offset. This thing was running a POS 35 because of the portal axles. It was a 200 series wheel. So you can see I've got a little bit more tyre poke now, back on the 37s. And dude, like this car was just built for 37s, and it's brought it back to exactly the vision that I had right from the start. So that's probably the biggest change. I love the look of these monster rims. I think they're awesome. You know, that's something that's I can report back to you about how we go with these guys. That's Bob Jane T-Mart's own brand of wheels. So check out the Monster wheel range. They've got some amazing designs. One of the other biggest changes that we've made is we've gone to tube guards. Now, since we built the FJ49, obviously the skill sets have kind of gone up a little bit. The big problem with the Mega 6 always was with the rear overhang. I was just, every single time I took this car out, I was just tearing up sheet metal guards to the point where we kept them in stock. I think I just binned like 4 sets of Mega 6 rear guards. So you can see that we've got the tube work coming all the way around, very, very similar to the FJ49. And then down the back here, you can see I've got a scrub rail which is now protecting the toolbox. So that's probably one of the biggest changes and something I'm really, really happy with. I wanted to do this to the Mega 6 for a long time. This car wasn't just built for show, and no, the Mega 6 doesn't flex, that's not what it's about. But with bolt traction here with 6 wheels locked in on 37-inch tyres, there is nowhere that this thing won't go.
Yes! Here we go. Now we're out. Yeah!
Now you get a better view from behind on the Mega 6 because this has got the new style P-core body. We've got the Heyman Reese X-bar on the back. And once again, I don't know, you know, tow bars are just not a sexy thing, and they're just not something that people really, you know, consider when it comes to building a 4-wheel drive. But I think these guys really have changed it up when it comes to tow bars. The departure angle, it's obviously much, much higher on the Heyman Reese X-bar. Like I said with this one here, they do a tub style bar, so if you've got a factory tub fitted, they'll sit a bit lower. But if you're fitting an aftermarket tray, they do a tray bar specifically to keep the bar up higher and give you that departure angle. They come with this cast tongue as well to kind of correct that height. This is a 200mm drop, which works out really good. Generally speaking, on a Patriot camper, you need to put on a hitch the other way because tow bars sit so low to step it up to get that 630mm clearance. But because these ones are so much higher, you end up going with the drop. And that kind of paints the picture on just how much more departure angle you get. You've got massive rated recovery tow points in the side. You've actually got on here side recovery. You've got 4 tonne a side. So if I loop them together, I've got a total of 8 tonne. And like I said on the last video, you can see it a bit better here. There's 4 bolt holes Generally speaking, if you don't have a rear winch cradle like we do on most Peacock trays, they give you an 8-ton hook that bolts straight into there as well, which is absolutely awesome. Cutouts in here for the plugs. Again, I don't need to use it because I always run my plugs up high. They've really thought about, you know, hardcore four-wheel driving and really aesthetics when it comes to towing, which is long overdue in the industry. The other thing on the back, we've got the 237s mounted. I've got 4 Ranger swags. We've been running the Ranger swags now for, I'd like to say, probably getting close on 12 months since I got my first Ranger swag. And I've converted everybody that's in the convoy of Patriot now over to the Ranger swags. I might give you a run through these in the United States. These are a product that I'm stoked with, ecstatic with. First one I bought, they come with a big ground sheet, they come with a boot bag, they come with LED rechargeable lighting inside, there's heaps of pockets inside. I actually just slept in this on the weekend down at Gundy in torrential rain for 2 or 3 days. Absolutely awesome bit of gear. With the Mega 6, we've got, I'm not gonna call it a design flaw because we were very limited by packaging, but the actual house batteries sit underneath the tray of them. The start battery and the house batteries, because of what's going up in the engine bay, actually sit underneath the tray. So for me to access batteries, I've got to undo 4 bolts, slide the canopy back, and then there's 2 hatches if I get a flat battery. The car's going to be sitting in the container for 6 to 8 weeks, and I don't want to go through that headache. So one of the things that we've added in is we've got dual battery charging on the outside of the Mega 6 now. So just in case there's some sort of draw or something's left on, I can now charge it from the external. We actually added this in a while ago, to be perfectly honest with you. It was maybe a year ago. These little Red Arc Smart chargers, they're a trickle charger. They're meant to be for just topping stuff up. They're not like your big 25, 30, 50 amp charger that's going to regenerate a battery. That's not what these are all about. But they're so light. You can see how well used they are. I've got, I don't know, I reckon I've got 6 or 8 of these lying around the workshop, and I just keep them plugged into all different gear: jet skis, boats, dirt bikes, road bikes, and obviously cars. But you can see I've got this little Anderson plug mounted on the end, and I've got my auxiliary battery and my main battery. So I've just got these on, just giving this a really good charge before we head off to the US. You can see here, it's a smart charger, pick up state of charge. I've got 4 bars of charge there. So I'll just keep them topped up before the car's actually going to the container. I think from the outside, that's about it. Oh, you know what I will do right here? And I did this on purpose. Have a look at that. How do you like them apples? I've got my car on a car wash bottle. I'm gonna give a massive shout out to the team at Codex here right now. Boys, what you guys have pulled off once again for us to get these cars ready. The Mega 6 especially, you can see the condition it's in. They've given the thing a full paint correction. They spent about 4 days on it, getting this thing ready for SEMA. If you're on the Gold Coast or even within traveling distance to the Gold Coast, give them a go. Get them to detail your car, maybe a ceramic coating or a paint correction. I will guarantee you will not be disappointed with the result. What I've seen these guys do, and I mean, this speaks for itself. The condition this thing was in, the paint was in on this thing was pretty atrocious. And now it's looking SEMA ready. Another thing that they're bringing out real soon, I'm not sure if by the time this video launches, it's got to be out. We've been doing a lot of testing with these guys. So they've been mixing up a couple of different formulas for car washing. This one here is specifically for off-road cars. Put this in a foam gun, gurney the thing off. Then I normally give it a tub. I'll give the car a hand wash with this, and you don't get those streaks and marks. And I think specifically, you don't have those real hardcore degreasers or citrus in there that eats into the metal, which really upsets me when it comes to washing my car. So keep an eye out for this coming out. Look for the Mega 6 on the bottle. Yeah, we're on a car wash bottle. That's kind of cool. And good on the team at Codex for expanding. Great Gold Coast local Australian business. MSA mirrors. I spoke about them on the black truck. That's something else that's changed. I think aesthetically, they really suit the Mega 6. They look like they were meant to be there. You've got the ability here, extend these, fold them up. They're a bit tight, obviously they're brand new. You still got the indicators in there. They're powered from inside as well, so still got the factory switch running inside them, which is really cool. And I've also changed out to a Safari snorkel. So a little bit more volume, a little bit better look. Love the ram head on these things, much bigger, much more aggressive. So that's something that's really cool. I think I've covered it. trim my stacks up, 45-degree angle. Again, I think I went too far with that. I think maybe at about 30 degrees, they would have looked a little bit better. I just wanted that kind of, that look on the side. I don't have to, I don't have to have big stupid stacks on it. So yeah, kind of I stuffed that up a little bit. You know what, while we're here, let's just have a look at the engine. I know you guys like saying it, but come around here and we'll have a quick look. I don't think much has changed since the last walk around or the last time you saw the Mega 6. We've GSL'd the shit out of this thing. I don't think there's anything that GSL makes that's not in here. Maybe the little catch can. You've got their new Plenum on there, which has been absolutely awesome. The G-Force, oh no, we went to Intense. This one's running an Intense turbo, GSL airbox, all the plumbing. So this is the big kit from GSL. There's nobody who knows 79s like these guys, you know, and it's the only performance place I would take any of my 79s to. And with the Mega 6, the tunes that those guys are doing have just been awesome. They're reliable. I'm really happy with the work that those guys are doing. So let's talk about the big change. To do that, let's jump in the interior. I think you all know this was bound to happen at some stage, and it's finally happened, and it has been the best modification that I have done to the Mega 6 to date. Let's get inside and I'll run you through it. Let's talk about the big change. So you can see here in the center console, there is no shifter anymore, and there's no clutch, yeah? We've finally converted the Mega 6. So we've gone from a manual to an auto. When we built the Mega 6, we built a mirror of this car for a really good customer of ours. And he's got I don't think I'd use the word disability. He's got one leg, right? Let's put it that way. He can't use a clutch. So he's got what's it called? A prosthetic left leg. So he can't use a clutch. We had to put the auto in there for it. And after I drove it, I was just like, whoa, that thing's awesome. But I still wanted to keep the Mega 6 manual. Now, pretty much every trip, as often as I ripped out a rear guard, I destroyed a clutch in this thing. This car just lunched clutches. Like, I reckon I'd get, I don't know, I'd be lucky to get 5,000 kilometers out of a clutch. Now, maybe that's the way I was driving it, the load on it, the tracks that we take it on, and what we were doing with it. You know, you're always up in the rev range, the big turbo on it. It just didn't like having a clutch. So I bit the bullet a little while ago, and I put the auto in it. And honestly, there's a lot of money that's been spent on this car, but it is the best investment for this car that we've made. It has just transformed everything. I've been out wheeling now in this thing, having a converter in this thing. You're not working it as hard. You're not loading up those portals and loading up the drivetrain, and especially with the amount of traction that we've got. When I used to let that twin plate clutch go, you know, and to hook up everything, we destroyed, you know, I think I broke 3 or 4 stub axles in the portals. You know, it was just that sort of load putting on it. The other thing I've noticed, fuel consumption in this thing has just, I can't tell you exactly the numbers, but just from gut feel, the fuel consumption has definitely lowered. The car is much more drivable. It's not as savage as it used to be. And it's just been an absolutely amazing change to the car. Now, with the wholesale automatics auto, again, technical stuff, I can't really get into the tech stuff. Check out, they've got 1,000 videos and all the rest of it. I'll tell you what I do know. It's a 200 series gearbox. It's a 200 series bell housing, obviously got a torque converter. The big thing that we've got with this thing here is we've got a lock-up button. So I can actually lock the converter up. Now, what that means, the reason that you lock the converter up is when we're towing, say if I'm going up a real steep hill, or let's say for example that when we're out four-wheel driving and I'm in muddy conditions or I'm trying to do a hill climb or whatever, I'll lock that converter up, which means I get no slip in the converter. So we're putting the power straight down, which means the converter's not working as hard and it doesn't heat up. That's the big problem with these conversions of putting an automatic in a 79 and really handing it its ass. It's a 6-speed box. You can run it as a sequential, so you can run it in sports mode. I don't. I think the tune on it is that good. I just leave the thing in drive and it does everything that I need it to do. If I start getting up in the temperatures, which it'll give you an alarm, you can see on the display here, I'll just keep an eye on that temp. If I'm towing or, you know, going up a big range, or up Cunningham Gap or something like that, I see the temperature come up. The thermos will kick in, I'll push the lock-up button, and you just watch the temperature just come straight back down. So I'm really excited to see how it goes off-road over where we're taking it in the United States. But I think, yeah, great investment. So that's the changes for the Mega 6. Got a little bit of mucking around to do today. Hopefully these containers turn up. If they turn up really late, we'll quickly get the cars in tomorrow morning, and then these things will be heading to the United States. Guys, SEMA, if you get the opportunity, come out and see us. Come and support my boys. Most importantly, if you're fans of Patriot games and you watch what we're doing, come to the opening night of SEMA. You know, I can't wait to be standing in that crowd and have a look at the people behind me and watch the twins come in and open SEMA, and then putting our 3 trucks on display. Once again, the biggest thank you goes to Toyota USA. You know, I've been talking to these guys for quite a few years. I threw it out in that video, you know, if we could get the FJ49 to SEMA, and Toyota got behind us and said, bring them all, bring all the 3 big builds from Patriot. And you'll see the Patriot Games Land Cruisers touring around the United States over the next 12 months, and coming up in the next series of Patriot Games. A lot of US content. I know there's a lot of other ambassadors that are heading over there over the next 12 months, which is really cool. So we'll be hooking up with a lot of those guys and doing some trips, and back with the guys who support us in the United States. So we're pumped, looking forward to getting back there. We'll see you all at SEMA.